welcome to session 1 of Frost and Rust. We are starting, like every other night, at a party. And this is a party to top all parties. The keeper normally goes out of her way to appear to be the most extravagant and well-off gentry within several regions. But tonight she has gone out of her way to really pull out all the stops. Instead of her normal ice sculptures, you see new humans, new changelings, now posed in positions that look extremely uncomfortable, and they've been there for hours. Water runs down from the ceiling onto their bodies as if they were a fountain, and you can tell that they're cold, they're shivering, but the gentry around, they don't care. There are guards pacing the room. Among them is Shard, keeping an eye on all of the, not just the changelings, but the gentry as well. The true fae, they're sneaky, they are conniving, and your keeper has no idea what any of them are going to try now that they're in her realm. She would like to think that an invitation is enough to keep them on their best behavior, but you never know. Among the partiers, we have Sunny. And Sunny seems to be one of the main attractions, which is what the keeper designed him to be. He is a very large, upright wolf with lustrous fur that gleams with sparkling, glittering, multicolored lights that seem to flash from everywhere and nowhere all at once. And so many gentry are around him, oohing and eyeing and stroking and petting and making him extremely and entirely uncomfortable. Further among the partiers is Lewis. Tonight he is at the keeper's side. The Eternal Hostess has you decked to the nines. Your suit is the richest blue you've ever seen. Your tie is made of peacock feathers, and trailing from your coattails are the same feathers. You look beautiful, for lack of a better term, and not to be outdone by the keeper, of course, but she's dressed you up pretty nicely, and it is very clear that you have whatever attention Sunny has not attracted to himself. And next, we have Lysander, who is sort of off in his own little world, as he usually is. When you're forced to look into the future at things that have yet to happen, your sense of here and now, it gets distorted, and sometimes it's hard to be where you are when you are. But the keeper, she doesn't seem to let you forget that you are supposed to be here having a good time, making sure that her courtiers have a good time, making sure that her guests have a good time. And in fact, she sidles up to you and she pats Lewis on the arm, and to Lewis she turns and she says, "Don't you move, I'll be right back." And then she moves on to Lysander and she pulls him to a corner and she says, "I have questions that I need answers to."
I have answers, mistress.
She nods and she looks around and she spots somebody in the crowd and she points. And who she points to happens to be a tall, statuesque pillar of flame, burning brightly. People pass by and glance. You can't tell if it's a him or a her, until the keeper speaks anyway and says, that is the Lord of Many Flames. And I think that he's going to try and kill me while he's here tonight. And I need you to look and see if that's the case.
Very well. So Lysander will give like a deep nod, and then she would know. He would turn to a window to look out at the stars, and there he would gaze. And let's see here. He needs wits and bolt.
First roll of the night already?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Wits plus occult, then, I suppose.
And
Okay.
Lysander scores one success, which is enough for the yes or no question. Is the many flames going to attempt to kill the keeper tonight?
No.
So he would, after some time pondering, he would turn back to her and tell her, "I believe that is not the case this night, mistress."
She narrows her eyes at you and she seems angry for a moment. And for that moment, you're afraid that she might strike you like she's done several times before. But she doesn't. She takes a deep breath. She composes herself. She squares her shoulders so that her cloak of many peacock feathers catches the light beautifully. She nods and she says, "Okay, well, something is going to happen tonight. I can feel it in my gut as sure as a knife. So I will probably be back to ask you more questions. Get some rest and keep to yourself. And if you see anything strange, do come tell me."
Yes, mistress.
And with that, she moves off. She returns to Lewis and she crosses her arms and shakes her head and says, "My dearest love, I can't depend on anyone here tonight except you. You won't let anything happen to me tonight, will you?"
Of course not. And Lewis has moved, technically, since they last spoke, if that is important information.
She notices, but she doesn't say anything about it. She looks around the room and she spots Shard and she lifts a finger and beckons him over.
He glides over, elegant but straight to the point.
She seems to appreciate that and she goes so far as to tilt her head to greet you. And she says, "My valiant knight, something is amiss here tonight. I feel it surely, but I don't know what it is. Have you seen anything?"
Have I?
It's a good question. You can make an extended wits and investigation roll.
One success for a start.
Okay. You can go ahead and make your next roll.
And a further 3.
Okay. Your goal is 5, so as long as
One
your
more.
dice pool, yes, as long as your dice pool.
And another 3.
Okay. So over the course of the night, you've noticed some peculiar things, but you wouldn't go so far as to say that they are threatening or dangerous. You've seen some of the servants steal off with one another when they're not supposed to and steal a kiss or two, cop a touch. They're not supposed to, but they're not hurting anyone, and as soon as the mistress looks around to look for them, they're back at their positions, and no one seems to be any the wiser.
As can be expected from the peasantry.
You did notice, however, that somebody accompanying the Lord of Many Flames went missing maybe an hour ago, halfway through the beginning of this grand event. They haven't been seen since.
My lady, the Lord of Many Flames came with a partner. That partner is no longer here. I believe that bears suspicion.
She nods and she narrows her eyes and she says, "Yes, I do believe you're right.
Do you wish me to find them?
I do, my valiant knight. Go find them and bring them to me immediately."
Shard will bow low and, yes, my mistress. And he'll just be off then.
She's going to beckon Sunny over to her, and she's going to briefly fill him in on what's been going on. She keeps as much information to herself as possible, but she does say, "Something is happening tonight, and I need you to go with Shard here to investigate and bring back the suspect before anything happens. And I need you to do it quickly. Can you manage that?"
Quick is my expertise, Mom. Of course I could.
She dips her head and she says, "Good, now go. And please don't let any of my guests know what's going on. I fear that if they catch wind of this, it'll be the death of me before anyone can actually sink a knife into my back." And with that, she turns back to Lewis and clearly expects you guys to move on and leave.
I'll be rolling wits plus investigation, maybe.
It is going to be another extended. Whoever has the highest will be the primary actor, and whoever has the second highest will be rolling for teamwork. So whichever between the two of you has the highest.
Wits and investigation for me is 5.
Mine's 4, so by all means.
Okay, Goth, go ahead and roll your 4 dice for the teamwork action.
Of course. 2 successes.
And Ego, you can go ahead and add 2 to your dice pool for your extended wits and investigation.
2 successes.
Okay.
There's your 5.
Okay.
Further 3.
It takes you about almost 10 minutes, give or take, to search the entire estate of the Eternal Hostess. It's huge, it's grand, it's got more rooms than you can even think to count. It's like trying to imagine eternity. But you do eventually manage to reach the end of it somehow, because she wishes it, because she doesn't want you to get lost, whatever her reason. And you come to a door that you have seen many times before, but don't recall ever seeing open. And inside you can see a desk. It's ornate, it's beautiful, made of rich dark wood. There's a plush chair behind it. It looks like an office as far as you can tell. The books line shelves on the walls. The carpeting is beautiful and ornate. And you can see somebody digging around in the desk in front of you, and they don't seem to have noticed you yet.
Okay. I'm going to take position next to the door so I can look in and watch, see what they're looking for. If I can figure out what they're looking for, I can see what they have planned.
Okay. Is Sunny also looking into the room and trying to figure that out?
I will be somewhere around the corner, sneaking around, stalking my prey a little.
Okay. Sunny, I need you to roll me dexterity and stealth.
My favorite. Of course. And that would be 2 successes.
Okay. So you managed to quietly sneak around the corner. You managed to slip into the shadows, and a servant passes by and doesn't seem to notice you at all. So you feel relatively secluded and safe in your shadow. I need Shard to roll me perception, please.
Are we right now getting the undamaged clarity bonus of +2?
Yes, you are. Thank you. You said you got 2 successes?
I did.
Okay. So it looks like they are pulling contracts out of the desk. You can see...
Oh, that's not good.
You can see very long pieces of parchment that have lots of writing on them. The signatures are at the bottom. And they all have the same signature. It's all the Eternal Hostess signature.
So, from my experience serving my mistress, would it seem more likely that she would want them stopped or the plan exposed?
Roll me intelligence plus either politics or empathy. I'll give you the choice.
Oh, good. I don't think I have either of those. None.
None. Okay. You don't know. You actually have no idea. You're torn between thinking that she'd want them caught and stopped and thinking that she'd want the plan exposed. So you're not sure what she'd want you to do.
Well, my primary purpose has been intelligence gathering, I suppose. So I'll let it go until I figure it out.
As they turn around, you recognize somebody who has been in the service of the mistress for almost as long as you have. They are house servant. You've never heard them speak before, and you've never seen them do anything out of the ordinary before. But sure enough, when they turn around, you recognize this young girl stuffing contracts into the sleeve of her cloak and trying to hurry out of the room. Do you step in her way? Do you try to remain unseen? What do you do?
I'm going to basically ambush her as she leaves the room and try to catch her, slam her into the wall.
Could I'd like to look and say, like, should we attack him? Or at least gesture with my head.
By way of answer, his left arm is going to flow into a blade.
Strength brawl, I guess.
Oh, that's probably not good.
I was caught off guard.
What was your roll?
0. I tripped over a bit of streamer on my paw.
Of course. That's 3 successes for me, though.
All right. So she only got 1 on her perception check. So you are able to ambush her, and you get a surprise round. So you can take an action before she gets a chance to react. So.
All right. So at this point, have I slammed her into the wall already?
Yes, you have initiated the grapple already.
I am going to restrain her.
Okay.
I have to hold first. So, hold.
Okay. Go ahead and roll initiative now. Is Sunny joining the fight?
I will be.
Okay, go ahead and the both of you roll me initiative, please.
I must not fail my mistress.
I can't
7 for
either.
Yeah, 13.
13 and 7. So it is going to be Sunny, the stranger changeling, and then Shard. So Sunny, what do you do?
My first action is to quickly shake off my disorientation from getting hit in the head by a bookcase. And I'm gonna just lunge towards and take a huge chop out of the arm.
Okay. So.
All right.
Strength and brawl.
A success. Way.
I mean, that's all you need. You take a huge bite out of her leg, and this changeling immediately starts screaming at the top of her lungs. You can hear some, you assume that they're probably guards, turning and moving towards the location that you guys are in. Hey everyone, thanks for watching up to this point. I apologize for the technical issues that we had with getting session 0 and session 1 up. Future episodes will have video as well as audio, so thank you for bearing with us. Unfortunately, for session 1, I lost about half of the session with these technical issues. So rather than making the players go through everything all over again, I'm just going to fill you in on what happened so that by the time session 2 comes around, everyone is up to date. So Sunny and Shard tracked down a changeling who was in the office of the Eternal Hostess, and they discovered that she was stealing contracts of changelings that belonged to the Eternal Hostess, the Keeper. She showed Shard his contract. Shard took the contracts from her, looked through them, found Sunny's, found Lysander's, and eventually found Lewis's as well. Shard sent Sunny to go find Lysander, who was in the hall waiting for the keeper to ask more questions. Sunny found Lysander, and Lysander was able to determine from the stars that yes, in fact, the keeper was planning on selling not only Lysander, but Sunny, Lewis, Shard, and several others. So Sunny went back to Shard and reported that yes, in fact, the keeper was going to sell them. Shard gave the strange changeling her contract and told her to run. At that point, Shard and Sunny began to formulate a plan to escape. They included Lysander, and they had to attempt to convince Lewis, who was deeply in love with the keeper, that the keeper was planning on selling him too. So after breaking poor Lewis's heart, they managed to convince him to join their quest to escape Arcadia and the keeper before she could sell them to somebody much worse than herself. Sunny, being the fastest of them all, went back to the Great Hall in order to create a distraction so that the others could make it out without the guards following them. Sunny then went into the Great Hall and stole one of the keeper's pendants from her neck. So while the keeper and her guards were chasing after Sunny, who did manage to outrun them, the other three were able to get out of the estate and find a warship. Sunny hid in an outpost and was able to see the three coming as they left the estate, so he was able to catch up with them. The four of them found a working warship and set fire to the two of the three that they weren't going to be taking, so that the keeper and her guards had nothing to chase them down with. So, successfully evading the guards and the keeper, they sailed away from the estate and into the harbor of Hollywood Ranch. And that is where we pick up on session 2. So thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, I apologize for these technical issues. Thank you for bearing with us up until this point. And I hope that you're enjoying the story as much as we're enjoying telling it for you guys. So hope to see you soon. And thank you for watching.